Howdy, Ramblers. Today we're in the fermentation room, aka the everything is in here room, and we're going to talk a little about dry hopping. Now we are adding dry hops to
the IPA that we brewed. We're waiting to put into secondary here.
So our first step is to take a sample and make sure we're ready to at a point where we can rack this beer to secondary. It's only been here about a week. I have a feeling that it's going to be good to go.
Looks pretty.
Oh yeah, we're all the way down to close to 10. Looks more like an 11, 1.011. So that's more than close enough to finish. In fact, that probably is finished. It just still hasn't completely flocculated. So we're going to be able to move this right into secondary and dry hop on that. We just want to make sure that it's either really close to or almost finished. And if it isn't quite finished, that's actually okay too, because there's still yeast in there. So for dry hopping, we're going to need all of our regular racking supplies. If you want to see a video about racking, getting beer from one vessel to another, you can check that out. We'll put a link somewhere. We're actually going to use a bucket here. I like the bucket because it's easy to pour the hops into. It's very difficult to pour loose hops into a carboy, even though maybe we get a little better you know, at not getting oxygen in there. This is a lot easier to pour into. The hops are going to be fairly antibacterial, but the outside of the package, we don't want to get contamination on there. Got 1 ounce each of Columbus and Cascade, which are both hops in this beer already. And I'm going to wipe these off just where I'm going to cut it. So if there's any nasty on the outside, that doesn't go on our beer. And then I'm going to try to break these up just a little bit, make sure they're not clumpy. And just slice that baby open. Look at that. Nice big flakes. This is going to go right into our secondary fermenter. There's kind of a couple competing considerations here in the next step, which is, one, you've got a beer that's practically finished, so you don't want to introduce any oxygen to it. Obviously there's going to be a little bit in this transfer, especially using the bucket. There's some oxygen in there. And then the other thing is that you want to get the hops really wet so that they're going to be not clumped up and dry on top of the beer, but get wet and get in there and really lend their flavor to it. So that's why we added the hops first. And then we're going to go into kind of our normal racking, you know, procedure. So let me get our racking tools. So our racking tools are ready to go, and we're just going to go in with the racking cane, just like always. And get the tube on there. And we're pretty much ready to go. Alright, so here we go. Start our now, and I'm actually just going to go around the edge once to get those pieces that fell down. And then I'm going to try to get it at a bit of an angle, so maybe it'll swirl, but we'll see. Help get it moving, and basically just rack it right into there. Alright, well, stop the racking just as the crud started to come in, and 5 gallons there. We'll lose a little bit more in the second racking, but that's okay. We always end up with a little less beer with these dry hop beers, but they're so good, so who cares? So that's pretty much that. The ones on top should slowly absorb the beer, and over the next 2 weeks will impart more flavor and aroma into the beer. That's pretty much all there is to dry hopping. So until next time, ramble on.